Welcome to FNF Victory Road Draft League Season 2 team analysis. In this series, I'm going to be analyzing the teams that participated in the Victory Road's second season. And this is going to be an interview format, either via DM or on call. But today, I am doing a call, and I'm lucky to have Noobscrub from Patch 3.0 Ivysaurs with me on call today. So this is going to be a fun one. So welcome, Noobscrub, to team analysis.
Hello.
So we're going to jump right into everything Patch 3.0 Ivysaurs, and we'll start with the logo and the name. So some people, probably people who have played Smash for a while, do get the reference, but explain why you made this logo and the name, particularly for people who don't play Smash.
Alright, so Ivysaur is he's my favorite Pokemon, and he's in Smash, so I play Ivysaur a lot, but in Patch 4, which is when, I think it's when Hero came out, Ivysaur got super nerfed. They made his down air spike a lot weaker, and they made his up B, they made the sweet spot hitbox in the air. It doesn't do as much knockback as it used to. I think they made Razor Leaf slower, not move slower, but it comes out slower a little bit. Basically, Ivysaur is just not as unfair as he used to be. He was really broken before, but now he's just a fair character, which is very unfortunate in my opinion. So I decided to make my team name the Patch 3.0 Ivysaurs, because if I name it after when it was broken, then I'll win probably. That was my idea.
That's a good strategy. I should probably name my next team the Patch 1.0 Pichus.
Yeah, something like that.
For reference, Pichu was top tier before some patches, so. Well, the logo's really funny, especially to Smash players. It was really good. When you first sent it to me, I was like, this is really good.
Yeah, it has it might be kind of hard to see on the thumbnails because it's kind of small, but it has in the top left, it has Ivysaur's down air, and then in the top right, I think it has I think that's MKLeo getting hit by Ivysaur's up air.
Yeah.
And then in the middle it has Leffen using his up B. And then in the bottom right it shows the patch notes of Ivysaur getting nerfed, and then a meme guy, he's crying over it.
Is the meme guy you?
Yeah, probably. That's what I look like in real life.
Yeah, I can't confirm, but that's actually what I think of when I think of how you would look in real life. That picture, mixed with an Ivysaur, actually. That would be you in real life.
My hair is actually made out of leaves.
Yeah.
Just like Ivysaur.
Well, this is an awesome logo. I like it a lot. And last season, or rather in Season 1, you weren't the Patch 3.0 Ivysaurs.
Oh yeah, I was the American Braviaries.
The American. Yeah, Braviaries.
There's no A.
Yeah. So it was a change, and maybe next season, I don't know, maybe we'll see something different, or whenever we see your team again. So, but I actually do want to draw that parallel between last season, because there are some changes that were made from last season in terms of how you draft that I found interesting. Before we go into the draft, though, I just wanted to take a look at this awesome picture that you made too, where your team was flying first class, flying high in the sky, and then you had a few flying Pokemon on the outside, and Blissey, who also flies now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because there was a Smash photo contest.
Oh yeah.
And Benji and I were working on it. we were working together, and what happened was we were on the Meridian City stage, I think, and there's a Pokemon that comes out of the door, and sometimes it's Chansey. Blissey didn't exist when that stage was made, and we hit Chansey, and it went flying really high into the sky for some reason, and then we paused and took a picture of it just way up in the sky, and we submitted that as a picture, and so that's where the joke came from.
So Chansey evolved into Blissey in her time in the sky.
Yeah, she was flying for so long that she just decided to evolve.
She also flew to the top of the MVP list.
Yeah, not high enough though to be in the logo, but still to be remembered as the most Dolly Pokemon, second most Dolly Pokemon in the MVP list.
Yeah, behind
yeah, because Gengar was there.
Yeah, behind Gengar. Every team analysis video has a reference to Morgana being Stolly. It's so funny.
Oh man, I have to watch the others even more now.
Alright, so we got this beautiful team photo, and we're going to go into this initial team that you have. This team is really good. I really liked seeing you use this team. So tell me what your thought process was behind this team and when you were drafting it.
To be honest, I don't think I was thinking at all because I drafted Slowking. It was really a bad choice. It was just a terrible team overall. I just think Slowking ruined it all.
The end. That's the end of the team analysis. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so...
it was just a little bit of a running joke because I was trying to get rid of Slowking for such a long time and no one would take him. So I think I got rid of him on the last week.
Yeah.
But what I was originally going to draft, I wasn't going to draft Hippowdon or Stoutland. So I was originally going to take Gliscor, and I think Zequigs, I still don't know how to pronounce his username. Benji and I fight over the correct pronunciation a lot. But he drafted Gliscor, I think, and I was like, okay, I have to find another bulky ground type now. And I was considering Mudsdale, but I think I went for Hippowdon. And so I was going to get... So now it's nearing the end of the draft, and I'm considering either Stoutland or Kangaskhan. And I asked you, actually, which one I should get. And you said Stoutland because it has Sand Rush, and I didn't know it had Sand Rush. So I was like, okay, I'll just get Stoutland. And then after that, I realized I accidentally made a Sand team. And then I realized even more that I made a Sand team because like half of my bulky Pokemon can't get hit by Sandstorm. Because I've got Hippowdon that can't get hit by Sandstorm. And then Celesteela also is resistant to Sandstorm. And then Mandibuzz gets Overcoat, so it doesn't get hit by Sandstorm either. So really, the only Pokemon that have to worry about Sandstorm is Mega Venusaur and Blissey, because also Quagsire is ground type. So I just made like the world's most best and accidental Sand team because I got sniped.
It was a really happy accident, I'd say. I think that Sand Core was one of the best parts of your team. And like you said, you used it not only offensively with Stoutland, but defensively as well. So it worked for your team in both ways, minus Mega Venusaur with Synthesis, but that's just like one small con to a lot of the benefits that Sand brought you. So overall, I think it was really good for you. Compared to last season, because we talked about it in your team analysis for the last video, what did you approach this time that changed it from last season?
So I knew I had a lot of trouble with Substitute, and that was a big thing that I was struggling with, because I knew that I got walled out by Substitute a lot. I knew that I needed more offensive pressure, and I knew that I needed Pokemon that could just go through Substitute. So that's why I drafted two Pokemon with Infiltrator, and they were Chandelure and also Golbat. So Golbat is also kind of bulky, with an Eviolite, and it also gets Infiltrator. So I thought that those would be good abilities for those Pokemon. And Chandelure usually gets Fire. I think that's what most people run on it. But I was running it purely because it had Infiltrator. That's the only reason I got it. But it turned out I only had trouble with substitutes one time, and that was because that was against Morgana. That was his when he used Stall against me. So I think I should have brought someone who could have broken a substitute against him. If I had brought someone like Chandelure or Golbat with Infiltrator, I might have been able to do better against him. But yeah, that was a big part of what I was thinking. I wanted someone to break substitutes, and I also got Quagsire because he had Unaware. This was something that you told me, because that would have prevented a lot of people from setting up on my Pokemon. I could have just sent in Quagsire, and he would have been able to not get hit by the stat boost. So I didn't really have to worry about Swords Dance or Dragon's Dance all that much. The only really problem was Nasty Plot, because Quagsire is not good at special defense. But I don't really have to worry about all that much because Blissey doesn't really care about it either. So it was a really good synergy between my defensive core.
Yeah.
And if it got too much, I could just switch in Stoutland and kill them, I guess.
Yeah, I think that dynamic really worked out for you, and I think you took the lessons that you learned from Season 1 and you applied them in your team building really effectively. So, kudos. I think this was a really great team.
Thank you.
Also, the other Pokemon, the ones that weren't part of that really strong defensive core, you used pretty cool too, and we'll see that as we go moving forward, such as Turtonator and Comfy. So we'll see that in the individual battles. But first we're going to move on to the battle record. So overall you got rank 5, and your battle record in the regular season was 8-2 with a plus 18 differential, which was really impressive, especially compared to the Season 1 battle record and differential. So overall, how do you think your performance was?
I think I could have done better. During the regular season, I think I did really well. But during the postseason, I think I burned myself out. I should have taken it slower or something. I think against Emberhoof, I went really, really hardcore with the team building process, because every single week I made my teams more and more I just team build more and more. So every single week I would look more and more into the opponent's team and learn more about their Pokemon and more about their strategies, and it was just gotten to such high level where I was just spending my entire week team building pretty much, and all my free time. There was, near the end of the season, I had weeks where I didn't play any video games besides Pokemon Showdown, because that was the only thing I would do. I would only team build, and it got exhausting. And after Emberhoof, I think that team strategy was 20 pages long or something. Some of it was blank space, but it was just a ridiculous amount of work, and I didn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
I made a slightly less long team for Edgar. After that, I was just kind of burnt out, and I didn't want to team build anymore after that. And I just kind of said, I'm gonna team build less after this, and it's good to take a break, I guess, is what I decided.
Yeah, definitely. And I totally feel you. I think the same thing happened to me. At the beginning, I was team building really in detail, and then quickly it kind of fell out for me. And it's easy to get burnt out when you do such detailed team plans. So I guess the lesson that both of us probably could learn from this league is finding that balance of how to team build effectively but not spend so much time on it, because you can account for absolutely everything, but it's not even optimal to do that, I think. Like, it's good to be aware of things, but I think it's good to be aware also of, like, what the optimal use of the Pokemon you're facing is, and, like, some deviance, but it gets to the point where it's like, well, you're not going to have to plan for, like, special Scizor, I think. You know what I mean? So that could also be a lesson learned from this. But overall, I think you still did really well, and you showed what you were capable of, hence getting second place in the regular season.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, moving forward with that awareness of, okay, how do I do this but not go so deep into it, could really help. And that's something that I'm going to be trying to look into too, and maybe like making videos or plans to like see what the most effective way to team build is without getting so lost in the process that it becomes like too much.
Yeah, I think what I started to realize is team building is only half of it, because like once you do the actual battle, there were so many like other factors, because you can have the perfect strategy, but that doesn't guarantee a win. There's other factors such as the opponent's skill, and even RNG. And even if you have the perfect strategy, you can't always account for everything. You can only account for some of the things that they have, but they can always bring things that you can't account for, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the fun too. Like, even though it can be frustrating sometimes, it is part of the fun seeing, like, okay, what are you throwing at me? So, in terms of the people you faced, was there any teams in particular that you were really nervous to face, and were there any teams that you were really excited to face?
I wanted to do a rematch against Morgan, because I figured if I brought one of my Infiltrator Pokemon against him, I would have had an easier time with his Gengar. Other people that I was... Pokemon, oh my god. Other people I was excited to play against. Quasimodo. I wanted to do the infinite battle with the Wobbuffet.
Oh yeah, and then you had Mercy.
Yeah, that was really funny, I think. And then Edgar, I was really excited to play against. I think those were the best battles in my opinion. The battles I had against Edgar. And I was excited to play against Startoad. I knew his next team was gonna be really difficult, because the Pokemon that he transactioned, they were a lot more difficult to deal with, because he got rid of like Hydreigon and replaced it with Salamence. And Salamence is a lot harder to stall out than Hydreigon.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured it would still be possible, but it would just be a lot harder. And it was... I feel like I still could have won if I feel like I still could have won, but I don't know. It's in the past now, I guess. There were other people that I wanted to face that I didn't get to. For example, I wanted to play against Quest. But I still could. We could still do like a practice match, I guess. I was really excited to play against pretty much everyone I played. I feel like I was really excited for the most part to play against the people that I lost to in the last season. So that's pretty much everyone. So it was like you and Colin and Startoad. The people that beat me last time really badly, I was excited to get a rematch. And I'm glad that it went well for me most of the time. Because I feel like I was able to show exactly how good Stall can be.
Yeah, definitely. I think overall you put a really good name on Stall. I mean, people will complain about Stall, but we both know that Stall can be pretty epic. So we'll look at the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it was nothing important.
Okay, well, we'll look at the individual battle record now. And we're going to start actually with Startoad's team, Detroit Dinos. And what was your game plan for this team?
I don't remember, but I can actually check, because I still have it saved.
One thing that I noticed in this battle, you definitely used Blissey and Comfy to good effect. Comfy to pressure out Hydreigon, and Blissey also to wall it. And you also... Actually, I think Crobat gave you the most trouble with Taunt, and then once you were able to take down Crobat, it was a lot easier for you.
Oh yeah, and I remember that he had Magneton, and I knew he was going to try and pull my Celesteela. So, I don't remember what my counterplay was for that. I'm trying to remember what I was going to try and do. But, I think I was going to use, Blissey if he tried to switch in. I think I was going to just not use Celesteela in the beginning until Magneton was dead. And I was going to use, Blissey or Hippowdon for Magneton. And I had Comfey there because I think it was to take out, I forget. Maybe it was...
Hydreigon, probably?
Yeah, it was probably Hydreigon. And then...
And Mamoswine with Giga Drain.
Gardevoir if it was at low enough HP. And then I think the strategy was to just wall him out with Quagsire, I guess. That was when I was still like not getting my plans really detailed, because this plan, as I'm looking over it, I can like scroll to the bottom in 1 second. It's not very detailed.
Well, this was a pretty good one. I think yeah, you debuted your Sandcore in this first battle. I remember you telling me, like, don't say in the first impression video that Stoutland can use Sandrush. But yeah, it worked out for you, and Blissey together with Quagsire and Comfy really made a good team versus this team.
It's so funny because I thought it was a secret.
Nah, I'm pretty sure it was pretty obvious. Just because that's what Stoutland's known for.
Yeah, but I thought Stoutland wasn't known for anything. I thought he was just like a forgettable Pokemon that you just see in Route 1 and never catch or whatever. I don't know. Well,
it's definitely slept on, but it is known for Sandrush, I think.
Okay.
But anyways, we'll go to the next battle, which is versus Colin's team, Blitz City Haxorus. And this team was actually pretty scary for you, I think, because Mega Pinsir is such a big threat to Mega Venusaur, which is one of your premier defensive Pokemon. But it went pretty well for you. I think once you were able to get Mega Pinsir down, the match was a lot easier for you.
I remember my strategy for this one. I was going to use Turtonator to boost, I think, with Shell Smash or something. And then I also was going to use Chandelure. I think Chandelure had a Choice Scarf or something.
Yeah, it did.
Or a Choice Spect, I forget what. And Chandelure did pretty well. And I don't think Turtonator did anything, actually.
Turtonator set up a Shell Smash, and then it attacked Scrafty, but Scrafty had an Assault Vest and maximum investment, so it only did like 40 after the Shell Smash, and Scrafty Dragon Tailed it out. it was kind of unfortunate for you, but it was also kind of funny because it was like, wow, what are the odds?
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's when I learned that Scrappy is really, really bulky for some reason.
Yeah, it's extremely bulky, especially with an assault vest.
Kind of crazy. I was just like, maybe it has like armor under its pants or something. That's why it's always so loose.
It was used pretty well by Colin this season. I think people started to take notice and see how good Scrafty could be. But this was a really exciting battle, and I think you did really well in this one. Stoutland also did really decently with Workup. It was able to take down Rotom Wash and Jirachi, which were two troublesome Pokemon as well. So definitely.
Oh yeah, I never used Workup on Stoutland ever again. After this battle, I mean.
You didn't what?
I don't think I ever used Stoutland. Used Workup on Stoutland after this battle, which is weird because it was a good move. I should have used it at least one more time.
Yeah, it worked out really well for you. But still, it was a really good battle, and you definitely were showing some good progress at this point. The next battle was versus I Like Corsola, which is Z-Quig's team, and in this one, I think Quagsire was really your star player in this one, because you were facing Gliscor, Mega Scizor, and Gothitelle, all of which used boosting moves, and then also Rotom Heat and Corsola, who couldn't break through Quagsire. So really, Quagsire only struggled versus Whimsicott, and it walled everything else.
I was so scared of Gothitelle. I think I gave all of my Pokemon the Shed Shellers. It was almost all of them that got it.
I think it trapped like the one or two Pokemon that didn't have it, because it trapped Celesteela, and then it proceeded to Calm Mind up and eliminate Celesteela. I think, yeah, when I interviewed Z-Quigs, he was like, I wanted that thing gone. I didn't want to have to deal with Celesteela.
I feel so bad for Celesteela because it does all of the work in all of my battles, and then it just has the worst differential.
Yeah. In this battle, it didn't do too much, though, because it pretty much just got tricked by Gothitelle and then trapped and died. But Quagsire did amazingly. It burned Scizor, I think... No, it didn't burn Gliscor, but it burned Scizor, and it was just walling everything.
Oh, I remember this one, because Gliscor took forever to wall. I think it was a PP stall one. It was a PP stall battle.
Yeah. Quagsire lost all its PP for Scald and Earthquake, actually, and it only had Toxic and Recover left.
Oh yeah, and it was still useful after that.
Yeah. That's how good Quagsire was in this matchup.
I love Quagsire, it's my favorite.
Good old Quaggy. I'm really glad I suggested Quagsire, because I think it was a really good fit on your team.
Yeah. I'm thankful for that.
So we move on to the next battle, but first, you actually had a transaction. You gave your Z-Crystal from Chandelure to Blissey. What was the thought process behind that, to give Blissey Z any privilege?
After that battle, I got paranoid of people using Trick on my Pokemon, and I was like, if I give them a Z-Crystal, they can't get tricked. That was my thought process.
Also, Z-Toxic gives +1 defense.
Yeah, so that was my strategy sometimes after that. So I could use Z-Toxic to raise my defense. Unfortunately, while there are Z moves that can raise your special defense by 2 stages, I'm pretty sure there are no Z moves that can raise your defense by 2 stages, which is unfortunate because Blissey has really good special defense and doesn't need a ×2 boost to special defense, but it could really use the defense boost, so I was sad about that. Um, I I was looking for. I was thinking about using Z Heal Bell to fully restore HP, but I don't really think Blissey needs it that much in most scenarios because it takes so little damage from most things that it can get by with Wishing Protect or just Thought Foil.
Yeah. But overall, I think it was an interesting one for sure, and preventing Trick is really good. I think it actually did prevent Trick at one point.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, I think versus... I forgot who it was versus, but I think it did. I'm pretty sure it did, because I remember someone trying to Trick and it didn't work versus Blissey. Maybe the item was knocked off, but I think it was a Z Crystal. I'm not sure, but it was an interesting choice for sure. And then you also gave your Z move from Stoutland to Turtonator.
Yeah, so there was a reason for that as well. Stoutland has 110 base attack, which is pretty good, but it's not wonderful. And if I'm gonna be sweeping with Stoutland, and I only have a little bit of time to do it, I'm not gonna really want to use the Z move, I guess, because I'm gonna want to like get the most time that I can out of that sandstorm. I'm not gonna want to get like one burst of power. I'm gonna want to like spread it out evenly throughout the entire sandstorm. So I figured that I would just try and give him like a life orb or a choice band in most scenarios. But for Turtonator, who uses Shell Smash, he can get his attack really high, or his special attack. So it makes more sense for Turtonator to have a Z Crystal, because then not only can I switch him in to avoid knockoff or trick, and he already has pretty good defense, so using him to avoid knockoff is good. But also, what would happen is he would have that one burst of power from the Z Crystal, and then he would still have really good attack because of the Shell Smash. So it's just, I feel like it just works better on him.
Yeah. It also prevents Draco Meteor from lowering the special attack 2 stages, which is also really nice.
That was another reason I was thinking of.
So after this was right before our battle actually, so you faced my team, Sun and Friendly, next. And what was your game plan for this battle?
So I was trying to do something really crazy I probably shouldn't have done in hindsight. So last time when we fought, you did like this weird strategy where you used Golbat and you used Block, and then you like used Poison Fang to poison Blissey and then to get rid of her. Or no, it was Chansey. I had Chansey at that time. So I was like, I'm just gonna do the same thing to you, and I put Block and like Toxic on literally all of my Pokemon. I think 4 of them had Block or something.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
I think 4 of them had either Block or Mean Look. So that was my strategy, and it didn't really work that well. But it was fun because it was an interesting idea. That's why it was fun.
I think it also didn't help then that I was packing Roar on Venusaur, because that seemed to be the move that you had the most trouble with.
Yeah.
This was a really fun match, though.
It's a good moveset, so I'm kind of glad that it was a Venusaur that beat my team, because honestly, that's the best way to beat it.
Yeah, it was interesting, because Venusaur was like the most useful Pokemon on both sides, I think.
That's how it always is, and how it always should be. Venusaur is always the most.
This was a really fun one, though. Especially, like, I ran a Stolly team this time. It was, like, Stollier than normal, because normally I was just going for the, like, big offense. But because your team isn't, like, as offensive as others, in which, like, I had no defensive options, I felt like I was free to explore more of my defensive options in this battle. And it was like stally as a result, which is fun.
I feel like my team loses to like stall strategies for some reason. I'm not sure why, because like my team is good at beating out other people's offensive options pretty well. But for some reason, when it's stall versus stall, my team loses in most cases.
I noticed that too, because like when I ran stall in Morgana as well, so I'm not sure why. I guess maybe because you build not expecting it, and then when it happens, it's weird. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Because when I use a very similar team on Pokemon Showdown, and I do stall versus stall, like this team is just meant for just in general battling, I usually win. But I think it's just when I'm building expecting something that's not stall and then I get stall, it just doesn't work out for me.
Yeah, and this was also the first time you faced stall, so you probably, like in this league at least, season, so you probably weren't expecting it then, but still, nonetheless, it was a fun battle, and Venusaur is the MVP on both sides. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So the next battle was versus Quasi's team, Pitiful Punching Bags, and this one, Stoutland and Comfy were really useful for you. Stoutland just kind of like tore through the team, and then Comfy was able to clean up.
Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I just said, and then Comfy was able to clean up after.
Yeah. There was some crazy stuff going on in this one. So, I knew he could, like, trace Stoutland Sandrush with Mega Alakazam. That would have been bad for me. So I was really careful of that. But also, even before that, there was some really crazy luck going on. Because he switched Wobbuffet into Stoutland. And after this we were talking about it, Quasimodo and I, but what happened was his Wobbuffet got damaged. It was at full HP, I think, but it got damaged by the Stealth Rocks, and then I used Fire Fang on the switch in, and it was a critical hit. And this Fire Fang, the crit was so crazy because it did just enough damage to put it in it did enough damage so that it made it so that next turn killed it, but it didn't do enough damage to make the Citrus Berry heal it. So it was just the perfect middle damage. And if it had done more damage, the Citrus Berry would have healed, and if it had done less damage, Return wouldn't have killed. So I got really lucky, and if I remember correctly, Return was still a range, so I got incredibly lucky against that Wobbuffet, because if Return hadn't had killed, then Counter would have. So the fact that I won that, I think, was just really good luck.
Yeah, he mentioned that in our video together when I interviewed him. I'm still not sure how the battle would have gone after, because there's still a bunch of other Pokemon. It was relatively early in the match that happened. Really lucky, but yeah, it was really interesting to see. And Comfy was really good in this, probably because it denied Como-O from setting up, and it was also able to clean up once things were weakened.
Yeah, Comfy was really helpful at the end.
This battle was really interesting as well, because it was like that unstoppable force versus the immovable object. Although you didn't go full stall, you definitely had a little bit more of an offensive presence in this one. But yeah, still really interesting.
I like that this is the only time I used Golbat during the regular season, I'm pretty sure, and it got out for one turn and died to Psychic.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. I love Golbat, so rip Golbat.
There was nothing I could have done. Lucario has so many coverage moves that I can just kill anything with the super.
Yeah, that was an interesting one though. The next one was versus Morgana's team, Northern Necrozmas, and this battle is pretty infamous at this point.
This is my favorite battle in the entire league.
And why is it your favorite? Morgana's probably like rolling his eyes if he's listening right now.
It's because this is when I went from the number 1 stall player to the number 2 stall player.
And who took that title from you?
Morgana. This is when I passed my crown to someone else. I feel so proud.
Yeah, Gengar really did. Gengar and Wigglytuff, because Wigglytuff was providing wishes to the whole team and stalling out your team, and Gengar was able to wall Blissey. Gengar is really good versus Blissey because Blissey's Seismic Toss can't break its substitutes, and Gengar isn't affected by Toxic. So Blissey's like a free switch-in for Gengar.
I feel really bad because I had sent out Stoutland 3 times, and then I forget what move I used, but I was trying to predict a switch, and I did it 3 times, and if I hadn't done that and just used the regular move, I could have done a lot of damage or something, but I just was being dumb.
Yeah, Crunch, because you wanted to hit the Gengar switch-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was risky.
Switch to return, I think, but it was not working out for me. Sometimes I just think that other people are going to do something that I would do, and then they don't. And I get surprised. So okay, maybe they'll do it next time, and they don't do it. They should just be... People should just be more like me all the time.
Well, Morgana was definitely being like you in that he was using stall, so...
Of course. I never saw it coming.
Yeah, that was a really enjoyable battle. It was really unexpected, but really enjoyable. Also, Wigglytuff doing well was also cool to see. So the next battle is versus Harlem Gloomtrotters. That's Drizzle Boy's team. And in this one... So this one, I remember you were like, oh my gosh, I need 20 million counters to Mega Medicham. It just destroys my team. And then it didn't come.
Oh yeah. Mega Medicham is completely unfair. I don't know why they made a Pokemon that has 200, effectively 200. Okay, it's not 200, but it's the same thing because it has huge power. But there should not be any Pokemon that has that much attack ever. It's not fair to stall teams like mine.
Actually, I hate to break it to you, but it's not effectively 200 because the way EVs and multipliers work, huge power actually makes it more than 200.
Wow.
So.
That's great.
Yeah. But Mega Medicham didn't come, and instead, the Pokemon that I think you had the most trouble with was Latios. Flareon also did a number.
Latios is just a tricky Pokemon. You know what, that's true for all Psychic-type Pokemon. They get all the annoying moves.
Yeah, Psyshock made it so that Blissey wasn't super comfortable walling it, and it has such a big move pool. Pretty much you had to scout what it was running to see what was safe to bring in versus it. Because I think it also gets Energy Ball too, to use versus Quagsire.
I feel like there's just some Pokemon that can get a bunch of moves that can ruin your entire team, but luckily they can only have 4 moves at a time, so they can only ruin half of your team at once, which is very nice.
Yeah, Latios is definitely one of those Pokemon. But overall, you did really well, and I think Mega Venusaur was really good in this one. There was a moment where Mega Venusaur was frozen that I think would have been game-defining had the freeze not gone away immediately, but luckily
I remember
for you, it
that. Oh my gosh, I almost cried. If I was gonna like my heart skipped a beat, and then when it unfroze, I was like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, I remember I was like, oh my gosh, is this for real? And then it was all fine. It was kind of anticlimactic, but it was pretty intense.
To this day, I can't decide if that's good luck or bad luck.
It's good luck. Because the freeze didn't matter. The defrost rate mattered.
Was it bad luck and then good luck?
I think it was just good luck for you. Because the freeze didn't matter. So, essentially the only thing that mattered was the defrost rate. You know? Because if you freeze and then immediately defrost, it's like you were never frozen at all.
I was pretty lucky overall this time. I think I gave my bad luck to Quasimodo.
Yeah, he definitely had bouts of good and bad luck. A lot of bad towards the end, unfortunately. So next we have the battle versus Waterfront Woods, which is Sir Roland's team. And in this one, I think that you had a really good read at one point that really... Oh, no, I remember what had happened.
This is more good luck.
Frostlass used Destiny Bond and then died to Sandstorm damage, and then there was one more thing that happened. I think you, took out... Oh, yeah! Hippowdon used Roar on Mega Absol, and that brought in Stoutland, who was able to really punch a hole through his team.
Yeah, so I think I used Whirlwind actually, but this might have been turn 1 or something.
Yeah.
But I just used Whirlwind, and I think I meant to get rid of Absol, but I accidentally got rid of me because I was just being a clown, and it brought in Stoutland, which is the stupidest thing in the world, because no Pokemon should ever be able to set up Sandstorm and switch into a Sandrush Pokemon in one turn. That's the most broken thing in the world, but I got to do it, and I swept because of it.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome for you. And then Quagsire was also really good at walling things. In the end, it came in on Victini, and Victini was choiced, so there was nothing Victini could really do.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
So this was a pretty good battle for you. The next one was versus Edgar, and this was a super interesting battle. Blissey really was super useful for you in this one.
This is probably my favorite battle. And the ones that I played against him in the playoffs too, but those are probably one of my favorites.
So, in this one, I think Blissey was actually going to die at one point because Mega Houndoom was just extremely strong because of the sun, and you preserved her, and I think that was a really good idea because then Blissey was really hard to take down once Mega Houndoom went down, I think, or once either Braviary or Garchomp went down. I forgot what had happened, but Blissey was really hard to take down.
Was that when I sacrificed Hippowdon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's what I had to do. Because, Hippowdon was already pretty low, I think, and I just needed to get rid of the sun.
Yeah, I think you sacrificed Hippowdon and then maybe Stoutland after, and that's how Houndoom got the 2 kills and then it went down.
Yeah. Houndoom is a menace. Oh my gosh, I hate it.
Yeah, versus Stall, Mega Houndoom has such wild wall breaking capabilities in the sun. It's crazy. Celesteela was also really good too, using Leech Seed. We don't see it in the differential because poor Celesteela doing all the work, but it did have its role with Leech Seed.
It did like half the work.
Yeah, half the work, none of the credit. Poor Celesteela. So this was a really fun battle. I like this one a lot. It was really cool to see because both of you were doing so well, and I think you two were the ones that I've trained with the most in the league, so it was just cool seeing, like, oh, these are the people who, like, I've been consulting a lot and seeing, like, their strategies and what they do, and they've been seeing mine, and, like, we've all been sharing together and doing well, and so it was cool to see how you two fared against each other, and it was really close.
Yeah. Mega Venusaur also did all the work and didn't get any credit.
Yeah. Blissey took all the credit.
But that's okay because Blissey got on the MVP race because of it, so it was worth it.
Mega Venusaur and Celesteela walked so Blissey could run. So next you have your exchange before week 10, and this was Slowking for Girder. Why did you pick up Girder? You actually never ended up using Girder.
Okay, so there was a lot of reasons. First of all, there were like no Pokemon with fighting type priority left. Just none. I think this was the best one left. I'd have to look at the list again, but like this was all that was left. And then also, I knew I was gonna have to fight Edgar and you in playoffs, and I wasn't dealing with Houndoom again. I was sick of Houndoom, and I was also worried about Excadrill because Sand is my passion, and Stoutland is like the fastest thing in the world in Sand, and there are only a couple Pokemon that can outspeed it. And one of those Pokemon is Excadrill, and you have Excadrill, and like, it's not cool that you have a Pokemon that can sweep my team. I guess I didn't really think of it like I could just wall out Excadrill. That didn't really occur to me when I was drafting Girder. But it's just not good that you can like outspeed Stoutland. That's just not something I should let anyone else do. So what I did is I got Girder because I was like, okay, cool, I'll just use Mach Punch on Excadrill and on Houndoom, and then everything will be fine because they won't be able to go first. But the thing that I didn't realize is Mach Punch doesn't one-hit KO Houndoom, even with like a Choice Band. So that is not good. It didn't work out. So that's why I didn't ever use it, because it just wasn't a one-hit KO, and I didn't figure it wasn't worth it if I couldn't get the one-hit KO, I guess. So I didn't use it. I went for a different strategy. I used Turtonator to stall him out instead, but Turtonator got flinched, so that didn't work.
I was kind of excited to see if you would use Girder, just because it's a really cool Pokemon. I do encourage you to try it out sometime, though, because it's pretty fun, and it's bulky.
I was thinking of using an Assault Vest, or actually not an Assault Vest, because an Eviolite. I was going to use an Eviolite because it does the same thing, but better. But the thing is that even with max special defense, it just isn't enough to take a hit from Houndoom in the sun.
Yeah, Houndoom in the sun can, I think it could even 2-hit KO Blissey. Not if it has Protect and Leftovers, I think, but
yeah,
crazy.
It can do a bunch of damage to Blissey. That's why I needed, I had a bunch of strategies, but the best one was, the most consistent one was Turtonator. That's why I used Turtonator so much. I had another strategy. I was gonna try Flash Fire Chandelure with a choice card, but that was not consistent because if he used a move that wasn't a fire type move, it might not have worked.
Right. Dark Pulse.
Yeah.
So yeah, Slowking you never use, Girder you never use, so this is honestly a really inconsequential exchange.
Yeah.
So moving into week 10, this was versus Florida Flesh Ribbons, and Turtonator really went off in this one, because they managed to get the Shell Smash off and punch a hole through this team.
I think the Toxic Miss really helped against this team. Because I think Sylveon was going to use Toxic or something, and it missed. And that really increased Turtonator's longevity.
Yeah, and you also read the Kingdra switch in, too. Like, you did massive damage to Sylveon, and then Kingdra switched in, and then you took it out with Draco Meteor.
Yeah, I'm glad that I read that, because Kingdra was looking kind of annoying.
Yeah, it was really, really intense. Really good move by you.
Kingdra's one of my favorites. I love the critical hit. Kingdra.
Oh yeah, crit draw. In this one, Metagross was pretty hard for you once Turtonator went down, but as everything was kind of being picked apart, eventually Metagross just couldn't handle, even though it was doing big damage, and Hippowdon took it out.
Yeah. I think, I'm trying to remember, but I think I had to like play careful. I think I was a little scared of Metagross because it's kind of a strong Pokemon. But I think once I got comfortable with how much damage it was doing, that's when I was like, okay to KO it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense with like the decisions you were making in the battle. So this was actually your last battle in the regular season, and so you ended up second in regular season, which is really good. And we're going to take a look at the differentials on your team. Overall, really good differentials. You have 6 positive, 2 neutral, and then only 4 negative, and the negatives aren't pretty big. And Blissey at plus 10, which is awesome for Stall. Like, usually the stalliest Pokemon get the lowest differentials, but Blissey got such high ones.
Yes, next time it'll be even higher. We're gonna get Blissey to number 1.
Well, we'll see about that with Hypno, but but I'm sure you'll probably get number 2 or 3. Maybe Hypno will get 1. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But yeah, Blissey was really awesome in this. What would you say your favorite Pokemon was to use?
That's difficult. I really, really liked Quagsire. Quagsire is my favorite. See, Blissey was a lot of fun to use, but the problem with Blissey is, so all of my Pokemon, I like the Pokemon that like I could use the most. And Quagsire, he was very situational, but when you have him out against a Pokemon that he's good against, it's probably the most freeing, I guess. Like, having Quagsire out against like a Garchomp or something, that's probably one of the most like free feelings, I guess, because like, yeah, having Blissey out against a special attacker, that is really, you feel really safe in that situation. But having Quagsire feels even safer, I think, because it's a lot less passive than Blissey.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got Scald, you've got Toxic, and you've got Protect and Recover. So it's like Scald is really a really big help, even though it sometimes does less damage than Seismic Toss. The ability to not just have Scald, but to also have other attacking moves, while Blissey just really gets Seismic Toss. It's really freeing, I guess.
Yeah.
And Blissey really suffers from the 4 move slot syndrome or whatever, and that is a really big thing that kind of detracts from my enjoyment of using Blissey, because there's just one moveset that I like to use the most, and I want to use other moves, but it's just so hard to deviate from what I feel like the best moveset.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
And I think the other Pokemon that I like the most, I think maybe even more than Quagsire, it's probably Mega Venusaur. Because, like, Mega Venusaur, when you're not against a Pokemon that has a flying or psychic move, because, like, with
Thick Fat?
with Quagsire, you're always scared of someone using, like, Hidden Power Grass or Energy Ball, because everyone gets Energy Ball, and it's really annoying. But with Venusaur, the thing is that the flying coverage that most Pokemon get, they get like Aerial Ace or Acrobatics, and those moves kind of suck, so you're not really that scared. But the Psychic coverage moves are a little bit worse, but you can usually see those coming. When you're using Mega Venusaur, you feel a lot more free. I think Mega Venusaur's bulk is a little bit worse compared to the other Pokemon, since it can't really hold leftovers. But when you're using Leech Seed and Synthesis, it makes up for it. Yeah. So it's really, I think it's really dependent on the situation. But I love to use them all. I just talked for like 10 minutes about Stall, but I'm sorry, I just really like all of the Pokemon.
Yeah, and it seemed like you had a good time using all of them. They all seemed like they fit on the team in one way or another. Was there any that you didn't like using, that said?
I feel like Mandibuzz, I really like using Mandibuzz, but I feel like it fit less on the team than the other ones. But I'm not completely sure about that. I don't want to say that for 100% certain. I feel like if I time traveled back to the beginning and built all my teams differently, there was probably different team build situations that I could have fit in Mandibuzz instead of a different Pokemon, all of those ones. I think I just didn't. I think there were just some Pokemon I didn't try that hard to fit in because I knew what worked and I just stuck with it. I bet I could have used Slowking or Mandibuzz or Comfey or Golbat. I bet they all could have worked if I just tried to fit them in, and I just used the same Pokemon over and over again because I knew they worked.
Well, you use Comfey quite a bit. You use it 50% of the time, so I'd say that was a pretty good usage rate.
Yeah, Comfey was pretty good. It was more situational, and even when I used it, it was not like the star of the show most of the time. It was not doing that much.
Yeah, that's true. Well, overall, I think your team really fit you, and I think this was a really big improvement from last time. You had a lot more options, and you had a lot more synergy compared to last time, I think. So, it was really cool seeing you use it.
Thank you.
We're gonna go into the playoffs now, and the first set was winners quarterfinals. This was versus Ember's team, and overall you did really well in these matches. You got to 6-0s. So the first one, Mega Venusaur got 5 kills, which was really impressive.
Yeah. I think I was really scared of Emberhook's team, because this is something that he didn't do, but he definitely could have. So, Mega Diancie has Magic Bounce, so that's like definitely scary just right off the bat, because Magic Bounce against Stall is like not fun. Even if most of my Pokemon aren't really like affected by Toxic or like Leech Seed or whatever, like because Mandibuzz has Overcoat, which I'm pretty sure protected from Leech Seed, but I'm not sure.
No, only Sleep Powder and Spore and things like that.
Yeah. That's okay, so yeah, you're right about that, but you've got most of my team is protected from Toxic at least, but I don't like having the opponent being immune from it. Because if I'm using status moves to take out my opponent, and they can't get hit by status moves, that's a little bit of an issue. Especially when it's a Pokemon like Mega Diancie who has good defensive stats, and then on top of that has a move like Diamond Storm, which can raise their defense by 2 half the time. So that was a really, really big issue for me. But luckily it didn't really come into play. And then the other thing that I was really worried about is I think it was Masharna and also Milotic. Both of those Pokemon get Mirror Coat. Wait, Magic Coat. That's the one. Magic Coat is the same as Magic Bounce, but it's only for one turn, and I was really worried about that. So that's what I was worried that would happen, and luckily he didn't bring those moves, but those moves I was worried because like a bunch of his Pokemon got taunt or Magic Coat, and those moves could have just wrecked my team, but it didn't happen, so I got lucky.
Was that the reason why you ran a more offensive Venusaur this time?
Yeah, actually, because I knew I couldn't break through. I knew I couldn't break through Milotic, I think, so that's why I had Growth on Venusaur. I did it so that I could, if he tried to stall out my Pokemon with Magic Bounce, I could just set up Growth on one of the Pokemon that he can't hurt Venusaur with, and it was so that he couldn't just try and reflect all my moves again. And actually, I know that you thought it was an offensive Venusaur during the video, I think, but in both of those games, it was 252 HP, and I think 252 defense, but it might have been special defense, I forget. It didn't have any special attack investment. Or was it attack? I forget what moves I had. But it just didn't have any offense investment, and I just only used Growth to boost it while it was at its base value. I just wanted to have my attack there just in case he tried to stall me out, but it just worked out anyway. It's a regular plan.
Yeah, that was really helpful for you, I think, the Growth especially. And he didn't pack Milotic or any Pokemon with Haze in the first battle, so you were able to use it to your advantage. So the second battle actually went quite similarly. The kills were more spread out, and it was a little bit more of a switching game, but overall Mega Venusaur was still the one that was the premier wall and able to take down more than the others. I think you really used Breloom to your advantage because Breloom had no way of breaking through Mega Venusaur, and Substitute Breloom was pretty much like it had nothing it could use, so I think that was your opportunity and you used it pretty well.
Yeah, I was really lucky because Technician Bullet Seed is a really scary move for most of my team, except I got super lucky that both Celesteela and Mega Venusaur don't get hurt that much by Bullet Seed, except Celesteela can get put to sleep, and Mega Venusaur can't get put to sleep by Spore. Mandibuzz can't either, but Mandibuzz still takes more damage than I'm comfortable with from Bullet Seed. So I think I did put Acrobatics or something on Mandibuzz so it could kill Breloom if I needed it to, but I didn't want to have to resort to that. I don't remember if that's what I ended up doing, but yeah.
Yeah, it worked out though, because you were able to handle Breloom just fine with Mega Venusaur. And so this was a really good start for playoffs for you. I think this is the best set that anyone had in playoffs, so kudos for that. Next is winners semifinals versus Edgar and the Moondrinkers. And for the first battle, you managed to win this one. What was your game plan with this first battle?
Alright, before I get into that, I want to point something out. If that's alright.
Yeah.
If you look at the logs and like, you know how like there's the chat logs in the battles or whatever? If you look at the replay of the first battle, you'll see that I said there's one Pokemon that you brought that I didn't want to see. I was talking about Excelgor because I knew that Pokemon was going to be trouble for me. I knew there was no way I could deal with it effectively because I knew it would get at least 2 layers of spikes out before I could kill it. And that's what I struggled with every single time, I think. But anyway, my strategy was hope he doesn't bring Excelgor. And I was worried about Mega Houndoom. That was one of the biggest things. So I had a lot of strategies. I think I thought up 4 different strategies for Mega Houndoom, but I settled on one of them. And it was Turtonator. And Turtonator is going to... What it was going to do is it was going to have an Assault Vest. And it had a bunch of attacks. It had Earthquake, Draco Meteor, and Endeavor, and another one. I think it was something else. Maybe Explosion. I forget. It was something good. But anyway, it's probably not Explosion actually. But anyway, I used it, and that's what I did. And I think it worked pretty well. But Celesteela was there to like deal with the other Pokemon because it can do pretty well against Garchomp and Braviary and all that stuff. Cofagrigus, that one is I think my plan for that was to just use Blissey and Mega Venusaur again because that worked pretty well that last time. But I know that there were some movesets he could put on Cofagrigus that would give me some trouble, and that's what ended up happening, I think. Because he did do the Nasty Plot or whatever. I think that's what happened. And Quackshot was also there to deal with Garchomp, but he didn't really do anything.
I think in the first one he was going Calm Mind, but he couldn't break through Venusaur. And Venusaur was leech seeding it, and because Cofagrigus doesn't have Recover, it switched out a lot. And once Mega Houndoom went down, Celesteela was pretty much just free to wall everything. He had no answer to it. So that's pretty much what happened in the first one.
Yeah.
Especially with the Beast Boosts. If we look at the second one, that one, Celesteela wasn't like as much of a wall. I think I forgot exactly who took out Celesteela. I think it was Mega Houndoom actually. In this one, Mega Houndoom actually managed to pull off quite a powerful sweep.
I forget how it happened, but like I don't remember how the meter went down.
I remember. Cofagrigus trapped Blissey and poisoned it and prevented it from switching out. So Blissey eventually died to the poison, and then once Blissey was down, you didn't have a lot of answers to Mega Houndoom, and that's how it swept.
That's how I remember that. That was a good play.
Yeah.
After that, I think I was more. I don't think I brought Blissey again after that, because like I didn't really need her that much. He is mostly physical attack.
Yeah.
So like, I figured it wasn't needed.
Yeah, for the third battle, you changed to Golbat, and one of the reasons why Mega Houndoom was able to clean up so well was because Edgar actually had managed to set up rocks and 3 layers of spikes. So you swapped to Golbat to defog, and this had a pretty legendary PP stall with Cofagrigus and Golbat. Cofagrigus ended up trapping Golbat and then stalling almost all the PP on Golbat and itself. And Mega Houndoom did well, but went down. And when Mega Houndoom went down, I was like, how's Edgar going to break through Celesteela now? But he managed to do it with Swords Dance Garchomp with Fire Fang.
Wait, didn't he have a different Pokemon? He had, what's it called? That fighting type dude, I forget.
Oh yeah, Mian Shao.
It's not on the list though.
Oh, that's a big F for me. I think he took out Braviary maybe for Mian Shao.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Instead of Braviary, it should say Mian Shao, but it was really useful as well because it took out quite a few Pokemon. Well, actually, I think it took out Venusaur and then it badly damaged another Pokemon. I'm not...
What happened? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
What happened was one of his Pokemon tried to put me asleep, and I let it happen. I let him put Celesteela asleep, and I tried to gamble, because I gambled. I said, if I wake up fast enough, then I'll be able to. Then it should be fine. Like that's what my idea was. And I woke up, and then I got punched by Fire Fang.
Yeah.
So it was the opposite of the freeze thing earlier, I guess. Where the status works out, but then it just doesn't. But then, I think that game would have been a lot easier for me because my answer to Mega Houndoom was Turtonator, and I switched it in. If Turtonator would have been able to get one attack on Mega Houndoom, it wouldn't have killed probably. But Mega Houndoom, since it has solar power, it wouldn't have been able to sweep for as long. And even if it didn't set up Sun, I could have just killed it with one attack. So it just wouldn't have been a big of a deal. It wouldn't have been able to get 2 KOs. It probably would have been 1 or 0. And that would have made my team a lot stronger against the rest of it, I think. It would have gone the whole battle against Mega Houndoom that went on for so long. That would have been way shorter. But it's okay because losing Turtonator to a flinch, that's pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah, there's actually moments, well, we'll see in the next set actually, where flinch comes into play. But yeah, it was overall a good set though, really enjoyable, and you did manage to get a win, which was good. I think you two are now even for the season in terms of wins and losses because you won both 2 and lost both 2. So both of you did pretty well versus each other. And then your final set in playoffs was loses quarterfinals. Right, yeah, loses quarterfinals versus Detroit Dino's Startoad's team. And actually in this one, you had some flinch flashbacks because Mamoswine was Icicle crashing and it flinched quite a bit and you're like, oh god, please no.
Yeah. I just don't like moves that flinch very much. It's mostly Icicle Crash.
Just the war flashbacks of Icicle Crash.
Yeah. What's funny is that against Edgar, I knew that Dark Pulse would flinch, so I actually gave Golbat Inner Focus instead of Infiltrator. But it was on the wrong Pokemon. So that's funny. That's not related to this one though.
Yeah, and this one, it seemed like Mamoswine was just really hard for your team to handle, especially with Ice, because nothing really wanted to take that Icicle Crash, especially with that flinch chance, so Mamo kind of took over this first match.
My plan was actually to take an Icicle Crash as Mega Venusaur, and the reason for that is because Giga Drain is a one-hit KO against Mamoswine, if I recall correctly. I might be wrong about that. Because I think my plan was Giga Drain heals so much that if it wasn't a one-hit KO, I would have been able to take another Icicle Crash.
And then flinch happened.
Yeah, so that's why it was really unfortunate that I kept flinching. Because if Mega Venusaur wasn't able to take out Mamoswine like it was supposed to, because it gets to use Giga Drain.
So in game 2, Mamoswine was still a threat, but Heatran also was as well. I think the same thing pretty much happened with Mamoswine flinching a lot, but then Gardevoir called out the Mandibuzz switch-in, if I remember correctly, with Hyper Voice. It was about to take down Blissey, but then took down Mandibuzz with Hyper Voice because you were switching into the perceived Psyshock.
Yeah. I was trying to switch a bunch, I think I was getting kind of desperate at that point, and I don't remember why I was switching. I think I was just trying to like. I think at that point I knew it was pretty much over. Because I had already lost Venusaur, I think. And there was not really much I could do to take out Mega Gardevoir, I'm pretty sure. Because I also had lost Celesteela, if I recall correctly. Or I had no way to switch it in at least. So, it was... I have to watch it again to know what I was thinking, but like, I think the best I could do was try and get in a good switch. But there was not really much.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough set. So it ended in a 0-2 for you. But overall, you managed to get to 5th overall, which is a really huge increase from last time, where you got, I believe, 13th.
How many people were in the last one?
14.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was 13th. I thought it was 16 for some reason.
Yeah, it's 16 this time. So yeah, it was a really huge jump for you. I think you found your footing in terms of team synergy and strategy. And now, I think the lesson to take away, or one of them, is how to team build in a way that doesn't exhaust you.
Yeah.
But speaking of lessons learned, what would you say are some of your takeaways or lessons that you learned from this season?
I'm not really sure if learning is my thing. I think I'll just make the same mistake over and over again until... yeah, that's a joke. I think what I learned is never ever draft Slowking ever again. And then also, what I also learned is Stoutland has Sand Rush and it's pretty cool. That's another thing I learned. And I also learned to not just 30% chance to flinch is a lot.
Yeah, maybe contingency plans for RNG-induced moments too, but you could only prepare so much for that. But yeah, it was really awesome having you in this season. You did really well. I was really proud, to be honest. And I was also really glad that you helped me run it too. You were a really big help to me, especially since I had started working this season, and I'm really thankful for that.
I'm excited to help you work on the next one too.
Sorry, one more time?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just said I'm excited to help you work on the next one as well.
Oh yeah, same. Season 3 will be pretty awesome. And we're kind of nearing the end of the analysis video, so if you have any final thoughts that you want to add before we close up.
Just next time I join the draft league, I call dibs on all of the Pokemon that I had this time except for Slowking and Girder.
Watch that they all get picked, so you're stuck with Slowking and Girder.
Please no. never want Slowking or Girder ever again.
It's funny because you didn't even use them.
On Mega Medicham, not so that I can have it, but just so no one else can have it.
Pulling a Lion Hugs with a Moogus.
Yes.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Mega Venusaur especially, don't get it, because that's property of Noobscrub.
Oh, one more thing. You gotta put Z attack on regular Venusaur next time.
Oh yeah. I'm so sad that I can't Z Celebrate as Venusaur. I really wanted to try that out, actually, and I couldn't, and that's really unfortunate, but one day I will.
I had ZNE on Ivysaur in the Orberg draft league, and I never used it. I always did EVO.
I tried with Bulbasaur once versus Benji, and that didn't work out for me because I was like, nah, I'll just use Modest. I don't need Timid, and I needed Timid, and yeah. But next time, Venusaur. Maybe next time you could get regular Venusaur too, and then give it Z-Celebrate.
I'm gonna just get an entire Venusaur team.
Yeah. Well, it was extremely fun having you in the league, and again, really grateful that you helped me organize it and carry it out. And I look forward to the next time we'll see what stall concoctions you cook up. I know you're not the king of stall anymore since Morgana took it, but you're still pretty good at stall. So
maybe second place.
Yeah, maybe second. So this was the team analysis for Patch 3.0 Ivysaurs, led by Noobscrub. Once again, thank you for joining me in this interview and the league. And stay tuned for some more team analysis videos coming up. We still have the final videos for the playoffs coaches, so be sure to check those out. Until next time, this is Noel from Sun and Friendly, joined by Noobscrub from Patch 3.0 Ivysaurs, and we'll see you next time.